Man, what a match. And if you want to know or proof of what I'm saying, listen to that crowd. Listening back to the replay of the end of that match, how invested and emotionally connected that crowd was last night in Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. And here you have two guys, Bully, that the WWE Universe absolutely loves. I mean,
stop. Wow, I'm surprised you said that because I was going to give you the difference.
Okay, go ahead.
The two entrances. I listen to the people on entrances. There are different sounds an audience makes. They could be shrieking, they could be yelling, they could be screaming, they could be popping, they could be oohing, they could be eyeing. But you can tell by the different sounds a crowd makes. It tells you everything that you need to know about that performer. When Jey Uso comes to the ring, the people like Jey Uso because they have fun with his entrance. It's fun to be a part of Jey Uso's entrance. When Cody comes to the ring, it has to do with one word: love. They love Cody. They care about Cody. I'm not saying that people don't love Jey Uso, but you can tell by the sounds of the audience that there is a deep love for Cody Rhodes. There is the emotional investment that is needed to propel you to the absolute top of the stratosphere of the world of pro wrestling. I hear two different things. There's excitement on Jey Uso's music. Yay, we're going to yeet, we're going to dance, we're going to have a great time. Cody's music hits, it's like, he's here. Yes, he's here. This is who I came to see. There's a big, big difference. I don't know if you can hear the difference. I'm become so tuned in to certain sounds of a wrestling crowd over the years, trying to hear things that you normally don't hear but can tell you so much. It's like back in the day when the Eddie Grahams or the great bookers that were out there. No way am I comparing myself to a great booker like Eddie Graham, but I'm saying I listen intently to what I'm hearing. The ups, the downs, the ebbs and flows of the sounds. There's love for Cody, man. And they need to get Cody back in the real mix ASAP. I wanted to break down those two entrances.
I do think now, and that's interesting, because I don't hear the difference, and I'll use last night as an example. I think the fans do love Jey Uso, but I do feel like Jey Uso had his time, and Jey Uso may have his time again, but I do feel like they need to get Cody back to where he was. I feel that void, and they have to fill that void with Cody. And man, the one thing I will say, you're right. The fans love, the kids enjoy Jey Uso. You see it. They get a big smile on their face when they see Jey Uso. But when it comes to Cody, look at the children when they see. It's almost like they're reaching out to that untouchable superstar. Like,
what did you just say?
Like
reaching out to touch. Hard Times promo. What's the old wives' tale about what people were doing when Dusty was cutting that promo? They were reaching out to touch the television screen just so they can feel like they were a part of Dusty and going through those trials and tribulations with him.
It's true. Hey, Cody has that ability and that gift. Just watch the kids when he makes that entrance. There's just you know this, Bully. There's just certain fans and there's certain performers that are on another level. Cody's on that level. And I'm very, very excited, but also a little anxious what's next for Cody here. Because I think this is a very important stretch for Cody Rhodes. And it starts on Saturday at Night of Champions. And Can he get back to where he was with that whole story around WrestleMania 40?
I study a lot of human psychology, and there's proof that human touch goes very, very far. This is more about relationships, but human touch. Think about performers of the past when you got to touch Elvis, or you just want to touch the Pope. If Cody can touch as many kids as he can, high-fiving, hugging, like we saw him last night, hand the weight belt or hug the other kid. I think he had the headphones on, like for the sensory overload headphones. He hugged that child. My God, if you're a kid and you go to see Cody Rhodes, and as he's coming to the aisle, you get to go home with the story of, I got to touch Cody. Man, oh man, those kids don't forget stuff like that.
And Bully, there are performers where the fans meet them, where they're like a big smile on their face and high five and like excited to meet that wrestler. And we see a lot of that. And that's a gift to be able to give that and receive that. But then there's certain wrestlers, and there's two in particular in the WWE right now that I think are able to do that. And they're Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley. Like, watch fan footage of fans meeting Cody and Rhea Ripley. They break down crying. I see it like it was happening at Fanatics Fest this past weekend. Like when fans meet Rhea and fans meet Cody, it's like on a different level.
And Cody and Rhea are not on the level of the person I'm about to compare them to. But here is the be all and end all of that. Michael Jackson. Remember when people would be in the presence of Michael Jackson? They would just come to tears.
Yeah.
If you could scratch the surface of that, you're doing something so special that only 1% of other wrestlers can do.
I've been watching the videos, grown men and grown women like coming to tears, meeting Cody and Rhea. Like there's a special level, and I really do think that those two are on that level right now.
I see it more with Cody, but I have seen it with Rhea. But that's my whole point of the Cody Rhodes, the love he gets on his entrance. And I think that old school wrestling would hone in on that and really, really go after it. I would write this tomorrow. I would write this in a script tomorrow. I'd have somebody beat the shit out of Cody so bad, and then have a kid or have two kids help Cody up. Could you imagine that scene?
Well,
could you imagine kids helping Cody back to his feet? Young kid, 10-year-old kids being able to get to the ring just to help Cody to his feet. A 10-year-old jumps over the guardrail, right? And is crying hysterically, and all of a sudden security runs over to grab the kid because the kid shouldn't be there. But Cody's a bloody mess, and he says, no, stop, leave the kid alone. And the kid comes and grabs Cody by the arm and helps Cody to his feet. Dude, that's heavy-duty shit right there. I'd write it in an instant. I would make it happen in an instant.
I love it. And Bully, I don't know if that's going to happen right now. I love the idea, but I'll say this. I love what we're about to see on Saturday at Night of Champions. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Bully, this is a match that you and I have been talking about before WrestleMania 40.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a case to be made that the real story is with Randy Orton. I mean, Randy Orton is really the guy that kind of broke Cody in this business. Cody started standing behind Randy Orton in Legacy. Like, if there is one guy on the roster in the WWE that knows Cody better than anybody else, it's Randy Orton. This guy can get the best out of Cody. And he also knows the strengths of Cody, but he also knows the weaknesses of Cody. Randy has been there for the ultimate highs, but also the extreme lows in Cody's career, Bully. Like, I can't wait for this match on Saturday. I have a feeling that this isn't going to be just a match to find out who's going to face John Cena at SummerSlam. And by the way, Bully, you can make a case for both Randy and Cody winning this match on Saturday.
Do you believe that last night's match between Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes was... You basically knew what the finish was.
Yes.
Because of the intrigue that the final match, the finals brought to you?
Yes, and that's not a bad thing, because I think if Jey Uso would have won, I would have been disappointed.
Correct.
The match should be Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That's the match that everybody wants to see.
And they did a great job. Cody and Jey did a great job of suspending my disbelief last night, where I thought Jey Uso had a chance to win. I got to tell you, man, when Jey caught those two super kicks, he did three things to Cody at the end of the match. He caught those two super kicks, and then there was another move.
The splash,
there.
Wasn't it the splash?
The splash, was it the splash? Before he went to he went to the top rope for the splash. But then Cody got up, and I was like, man, ooh, that was quick. Because he caught two tight
He did. He caught
kicks.
him up. Yeah, he ran up the ropes and caught Jey Uso.
Yeah. I would love to see the screws tightened a little bit on that, but they had me thinking that Jey Uso could win, despite the fact that I didn't want to see Jey Uso win this one, because the intrigue of Cody and Randy fighting, to the backstory there, and then who's going to win that one to get to Cena. And I've seen Cena and Randy already in St. Louis. Do I want to see it again? And Mark didn't love Randy and Cena because he said it was a little too house show for him.
I think people probably early on when this tournament started was that it was going to be Cody Rhodes and Cody and Cena at SummerSlam. I mean, I think that would probably be the early predictions for this. I mean, you could make a case for Randy because Randy is chasing that record now, and then John Cena is going to be out the door. But I think Cody's the guy. It's mostly this match on Saturday is really not about who's going to win, who's going to lose. I'm wondering if we're going to see a change in Randy Orton. Does Randy Orton turn heel on Saturday? Because to me, that's intriguing, because that's a story leading up to SummerSlam is Randy Orton, Cody. This can't just be a one-off on Saturday. Like Cody beats Randy Orton and they get away from it. There's too much history between these two, Bully, where I think Randy could really get to Cody Rhodes.
Does Randy Orton, to your point of Randy turning heel, does he turn heel in the body of the match? Or does Cody go over and Randy leaves him laying hard?
I think the latter. I think Cody wins. Like, Randy maybe takes him a little bit lightly. Like, hey, I'm the mentor. I know I taught everything. And then Cody wins, and then he leaves him laying out when this match is over. I mean, because and I'm not just taking one RKO. I'm talking a brutal beatdown after that match on Saturday. Because the one thing that the WWE lacked for Cody once he won the title at WrestleMania 40 was a story. We got a lot of great matches, but we didn't really get a story with Cody Rhodes. The closest thing was probably Kevin Owens, but this is a story. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, like, that's a story, Bully.
I'm going back to what I was talking about earlier and taking your Randy Orton turn after the match. If Randy Orton were to turn and absolutely decimate and obliterate Cody Rhodes, and I'm going to go back to that idea of the child helping Cody Rhodes to his feet, which I think could work wonders and create such a perception. Dave, for years, me and Devon would break a table, and this goes back to the WWE. And me and Devon did it before anybody did. Me and Devon did it before Cena, did it before Cody, did it before anybody did it. We'd break the table, we'd bring their little kid in the ring. And that moment with the little kid in the ring, giving them the piece of the broken table and holding the little kid in the air, it made our fan base fall in love with us even more. Because it's like, here's these two big, tough son of a bitches, and all of a sudden, now they're being so nice to a child. It shows just enough of another side for you, for people to be like, oh, wow, we really love these guys. You do that with a if somebody came in, a kid were to be the one to help Cody Rhodes up. I know it sounds outlandish. I know it sounds like something that they would never do. But if they were listening, and I know they're listening because they're right outside the door because I'm in their fucking studio. Do something like that and have the fans fall more in love with the guy that they love more than anybody else right now.
I agree. I think that visual of, like, imagine that, like a young child helping Cody up. Like, or even Bully, like, if he's laid out and then you just see kids, like, over the barricade, grabbing Cody and helping him up. Like, I mean, even just seeing a child with tears in his eyes.
We've seen that before. That will resonate. Watching kids cry resonates. Listen, as a heel, I would always lock eyes with one kid and try to get tears out of that kid. Because if I can make that one kid cry, I can make that entire arena hate me because I made a kid cry just by staring him down. People would look at me and go, "You're a real piece of shit for what you just did." Well, good, because mission accomplished. But my God, we've seen kids cry. If we could see a kid jump over that guardrail or somehow however they would plan it, a kid come out to try to help Cody up. If Randy hit 97 RKOs and blasted him with a belt and blah, 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 and Cody's a mess, and he's laid out up against the guardrail because maybe they don't want to bring a kid in the ring, and you see children reaching over the guardrails to pick Cody up by his armpits and his shoulders. Kids trying to help him. Kids crying. Kids trying to help their hero to his feet. You want to talk about moments that live forever? That's the kind of moment you want to get. That's the kind of moment you want to emblazon in people's minds. Children helping Cody Rhodes to their feet.
And Bully, like we saw in the UK after Cena turned, in Saudi, for the most part, they play along with the story and the characters in the ring. Maybe if you do what you're saying, like in Chicago or New York, you get the one more time chance from the assholes in the crowd when the performers are trying to tell a story. You're not going to get that in Saudi. They usually play along with the stories and the characters that are performing in front of them. You won't get that. It works where Night of Champions is on Saturday because you can't have those chants from the crowd one more time or cheering Randy Orton. And I'm not shitting on the U.S. crowds, but you know how sometimes in certain cities there's the smart fans that go against everything you're doing because that footage on Saturday, if it goes the way we think it's going to go or hope it's going to go, that's going to be the footage you see all the way during this story and leading to SummerSlam. It just can't be a one-off match. I really think there's a great story to tell between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes if they decide to go that route on Saturday.
There's 1,000%, and I think the Cody Randy story could last for a while. I just don't know if we want to do it now. Do we want to plant the seed now for what could happen in the future? Absolutely. I love the suggestion of Randy assuming the heel role, whether that's in the body of the match or if it happens afterwards. Randy's work by nature is more heelish than it is babyface.
Agreed.
Randy's his body language, his movement is more heelish. Always has been. And Randy can cinch in a hold on. Nobody can take a basic hold and make it mean more than Randy Orton can. And just the intent of Randy grabbing Cody's arm, neck, leg, and making it look like he's trying to actually break something. And if you have an announcer say, I think he's trying to break his leg, that will resonate with people.
Yeah, and listen, they could go the other way, Bully, where it's based on respect and mutual admiration on Saturday, where Cody beats Randy, and Randy's like, dude, I got your back. I'm proud of what you've become. You should be holding that championship. I got your back. And like you said, he is the guy behind Cody, and at some point down the line, you get that surprise RKO. They don't necessarily have to do it now, but you got about 6 weeks till we get to SummerSlam. And John Cena's facing CM Punk on Saturday. I think there's more story to tell between Punk and Cena moving forward. I just don't think that they're immediately come Saturday for 6 weeks building towards a match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Could they? Yes. Do I think it's likely? Probably not.
Do you see any type of, this is not well thought out, just hit me though, WrestleMania, Philadelphia, where a night one tag carries over into night two?
Cody wow.
Cody and Punk versus Cena and Orton.
Whew.
Night one. If somebody pins Cena, they get the match night two.
Man, it's a tough call because I never like putting two baby faces in a position where you're forcing the fans to choose one over the other. But it worked last night. Having Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, it worked last night.
Yeah, different levels babyface though with CM Punk. Remember, now, I don't know if the concern is as big today as it was when we first brought this up, but remember when Punk came in, we were like, keep Punk away from Cody. Keep him far away from Cody.
I don't think where we were then. Listen,
I
Bully,
think there's a deeper love for Cody now.
Yeah, and Bully, I guess you can say, for the most part, Vegas was an anomaly, right? We saw Cody clearly get booed at SmackDown in Vegas and then clearly get booed at WrestleMania. But have you really heard any of that? We were petrified that this was going to completely sidetrack Cody and be so difficult for him to get back. And he's kind of got back to where he was pretty much with ease.
Because he disappeared for a while and, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And the cheers that I heard for Cody last night remind me of the fact that I think people are like, okay, we don't want to see this guy leave again. It's always good for somebody to get out of the people's eyes for a little while. It's like, listen, if Violetta went home, if Violetta went to Poland to visit her family for a month, right?
Yeah.
You still love your wife forever, but man, the day she comes home, you're going to feel that rush of love because, oh my God, I haven't seen you for so long.
Cody was not gone nearly as long as we expected he was going to be gone for.
I think they brought him back quicker. I think they had to.
I think you're right. I think they
really. Yeah.
No, I think you're right. But I was afraid they were bringing him back too soon, and it wasn't long enough for the fans to miss him. But I think you're right. I think just those few weeks were enough for the fans to really miss Cody Rhodes.